And we're live. Greetings, friends. Happy Saturday. How are all of you? J-Lash with the thumbs ups. Appreciate you, friend. J-Lash, I always know I'm going to have an excellent stream if J-Lash arrives with the thumbs ups. Note, last night, J-Lash did not have the thumbs ups when we started the stream, and the stream crashed. What's that about? Thanks, J-Lash. Miko's here. Miko says, hello, Superantonio and Sadie. Sadie's down here. She had a bath. She is a clean bird, not a dirty bird. But she's very tired now. And Miko says, hello, mods. Happy weekend, everyone. Happy weekend to you, friend. David is here. And David says, and we're live. Miko with the snake emoticon from David. And David says, JL for J-Lash. Miko says, hey, David. David, how are you, friend? How's your weekend? What's for dinner? 6 viewers in the chat. Welcome, friends. Appreciate you being here. We're just going to hang out with the Tiger Bay Mustang all night long, or for about an hour. Whichever comes first. What was I going to say? I had a BLT with bacon in your honor, David. And what else? And the other Pop-Tart from from yesterday. I had the other Pop-Tart for dinner. And half a chocolate chip cookie. Someone gave me a chocolate chip cookie. I only eat half, usually. David says, my boy's got a swimming pool today and a water spout. Oh, that sounds wonderful. This girl had a bath. She's very happy. And we do have a pool in my building, and if no one's there, I'll take her there, not to swim. I would if it was my pool. I'd teach her how to swim, but I don't want to freak anybody out. But if no one's there, she likes to sniff around the edge and walk around the edge and inspect, but I don't think she likes the smell of the chlorine, and even I can smell the chlorine, so it's not a good smell. David had tamales. And Serena's here. Everybody say hi to Serena. Serena says, hi, Antonio. Sorry, I haven't been to the premiere. I've watched always. Liked the video. I'm just sick and sad. And Serena says, hi, everyone. I'm very sorry that you're sick and even more sorry that you're sad, Serena, my dear. David says, there she is, and has the star hearts emoticon. And Serena, I apologize if I sounded brusque on my comment to you. I didn't mean to on your latest short. But it's a hashtag, not an asterisk. The hashtag. Okay, and you only need one in front. Also, I'm not convinced hashtags actually work. I mean, they can't help. I mean, they can't hurt. But I don't know if they actually help. But, try titles with hashtags and without, with hashtag shorts and without, and see if that helps. See if you notice the difference. Also, Serena, I wanted to tell you if it is all possible, while it's important to be literal in your short titles, if you could add some emotion to your short title, like your latest one is like Karen says it's the wounded warrior in Red Dead Redemption 2. Perhaps you could say Karen says sarcastically it's the wounded warrior in Red Dead Redemption 2. Just add emotion, add like I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of difficult to do, but you need to create an emotional title, if that makes any sense. I hope that helps. I hope you understand. Serena says, hi, David. And David asks, have you received the package? And Serena says, no, I haven't received it yet, David. Miko says, hello, Serena. Get well soon to you and your family. And David says, wow, really? It was supposed to be there Thursday. And Serena says, I changed the title. Have a look. And Serena says, my last shorts got a lot of views. I was surprised. Did you have the hashtag on it? Did it say hashtag shorts? I'm looking right now. Yeah, you went viral, dude. 8,000 views. Did you get any subs? That's very well done. Um, See, and you don't have a hashtag on that. 316 likes. I just liked it. Um, and here, it's like Arthur says to Javier, "You're more precious than the rest of us." One, um, not many people know about that dialogue. It's new dialogue. Also, precious is an emotional word, if that makes any sense. But I'm very happy for you. Well done, Serena. I'm very proud of you. Serena says, "Okay, Antonio, I'm still learning. Sorry." No, don't apologize with your shorts. You're doing great. I'm very happy with your progress. And also, I don't really know what I'm talking about. Mr. Maddie says hello. And David says, "Hi, Mr. Maddie." Mr. Maddie, greetings. Happy Saturday. 9 viewers in the chat. Just hanging out with the Tiger Bay Mustang tonight. Serena says, "No, I didn't have the hashtags on the last shorts. Got more subs, though." Okay, see, so I don't think hashtags really work. I don't think you need them. Just concentrate on adding an emotional element to your title, if that makes any sense at all. And I wish I had more, I could explain it more succinctly. David says, Hortus is here. Hortus says, "Hey, y'all. Greetings, Hort. I had something to tell you about spicy ghost peppers. What was it? I can't remember right now. Something I saw on Instagram. On the Instagram, Serena says, "My friends share it to Twitter, my shorts and videos." That's what you need, Serena. And Serena says, "Hopefully the parcel will be here tomorrow, Monday, David." And David says, "I hope so." Yes, those darn kangaroos. Kangaroo Express. In America, we had Pony Express. And in the in the Outback, they have Kangaroo Express. What's that about? Serena says, "Hi, Miko," and "Hi, Hortus." Hort, how are you, friend? What's for dinner? I had a BLT and the other Pop-Tart from last night. Dominic says hello. Greetings, Dominic. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the chat. Thanks for subscribing, and I appreciate you being here. And what happened to our hat? David says, "It's called customs." Yeah, it might be stuck in customs. Odog is here. Greetings, Odog. I've missed you, friend. How are you? Odog with the gold sheriff star and the members exclusive Arthur emoticon. Odog, how are you, friend? David says hello to Dom and has the moon dog emoticons for Odog. Odog, Serena's here somewhere. Serena says, "I will let you know once the parcel arrives, David. I will email you." Hort says, "Bought groceries the other day but felt lazy today, so just ordered another pizza." Ha ha, I love pizza. Pizza is no laughing matter. I could eat a whole pizza right now. I'm starving right now. Odog says, "What up, Davey boy?" And Serena says, "Hi, Dom." And David says, "Okay, Star Hearts." You know what helps when you're starving? Cool, refreshing ice water. I'm being very sarcastic. David says, "Okay, Star Heart emoticon." And Serena says hi to Odog. And Miko says hi, Odog. And David says to Serena, "You can do a box opening video." Yes, Serena, do that. Except make sure you don't accidentally dox yourself and reveal your address. So peel off the label first. Odog has a bunch of emoticons relating to Serena. He has a heart and a comet and a hi Serena heart emoticon and what up, Miko. Odog, what's for dinner? I had a BLT and a Pop-Tart and half a chocolate chip cookie. I've got to get the diet back under control and actually start eating actual vegetables and real food. I just haven't had time to shop. So I'm just kind of improvising and, eating things out of the freezer.
Quick, come on. Let's get. Hey, there.
Serena says, I see David. I don't know if anyone would be interested in unboxing videos. They are, I'm too shy to talk. Well, just use your narration over it. Serena, you don't have to talk. Also, what was I going to say? Also, you would get so many viewers and subs if you actually did start talking, because I'm sure you have a really cute Australian accent. And if there's one thing gamers love, it's girls and girls with accents. Odog says popcorn, shrimp, chicken bites, and French fries. Yes, see, Odog, that sounds delicious, and I could eat that right now. David says you don't have to talk, just unbox. And Odog says okay, and barbecue baked beans. Yes, see, I love all that. Serena says after the stream I'm going to eat a bacon and egg roll and pancakes. Yeah, I saw some cinnamon roll pancakes on Instagram. They look delicious. And now we're taking the Grillo down Mustang to get the Tiger Bay Mustang. Serena says, okay, and David, Antonio, and David, thank you. Thank you, Serena. I'm glad you're here. I'm sorry you're so sad. Why are you sad? What can I do? What can the chat do to make you less sad, Serena? Tell us, and we will do it. Cloudy says, howdy, y'all. And David says, hi to Cloudy. Greetings, Cloudy. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you, friend. Happy Saturday. Serena says, do I show the items in the unboxing? Yes, you do. And Serena also says, hi, Cloudy. Yeah, you have to show everything. But don't show your address and just say it's from a viewer or a friend from the U.S. Or you can say David, but don't give his last name, and don't show David's address. And don't show anything that could identify you, and you'll be fine. Just hold your phone over the package and open it with one hand. Serena says, I'm happy to just be here with you all. Well, we're happy you're here, Serena, and I'm very sorry you're feeling sad. Odog says, the Pinto Tennessee Walker is too bad it's not a good horse in game. Oh, and Odog said, first, that Overo is beautiful. Okay. I missed your first part. And this is a mystery that would work very well on Sinister Sundays. Sinister Sundays will be all about the movie The Exorcist from 1974. We shall, I'll read the Wikipedia again, and we'll talk about the curse of that movie. It is technically the most cursed movie in movie production in cinematic history.
Let's go, girl.
Serena says, just everything comes in 3. Grandma is in hospital. Our washing machine is not working. We need a new one. I'm sick, and my family, because of hospital, we got sick, and we can't see Grandma. We have to video call. And Odog says, not always, Serena. Yeah, sometimes it seems like that, and I'm sorry about it. But, it's like, it just means some good luck is coming your way. Cloudy says, can't wait for Sinister Sunday. Okay, Cloudy, it's going to be fun. Because we are also going to do something I'm calling Wednesday Weirdness. I love The Witcher. I love Geralt. Unfortunately, those streams barely break 100. They don't even break 100. They come, they're like in the 80s and the 90s. So it's not working, so we've got to try something new. And I'm really enjoying Sinister Sundays, so why not do it on Wednesdays as well? So Wednesdays, we are going to explore something called the Voynich Manuscript. It's a mystery. It's a mystery that is 400 years old, perhaps 600 years old. And it's fascinating. Hodok says, don't get caught up in superstition. Pray and believe and hope. Doesn't always come in threes. And Serena says, I will, oh dog. Thank you. Dominic asks, why do you like putting mohawks on your horses? Well, it started with the Grullo Dun. And now I do it so that it's a very subtle watermark on the video. So you know it's a superantonio video. All the horses have mohawks, and also it's very polarizing in the comments. People who hate mohawks have to write a comment saying how much they hate it, and then that will generate, responses and conversations, and the algorithm doesn't care about likes and dislikes, comments. It's not reading the comments. It just wants more comments. So it will push the video up higher, and more people like you will notice. And Dominic says, so basically it's your brand. Okay, yes, if you understand branding, then yes, Dominic, that's what we do. That's why Arthur and John basically wear the same outfits in every video. Odog says, LOL, marketing off the haters. Yes, Odog. So now I like, if we get a horse, I'm going to show it in the stables getting the mohawk. Let's put a mohawk on her. Just to emphasize it. But originally it started because I really wanted to continue the dorsal stripe off the Grullo Dun Mustang, and I just thought the mohawk, even though I love the bangs with a Mustang, how it falls in their faces, I think that's really cute. But the mohawk will extend that dorsal stripe, and I like that. Serena says, David, I'm worrying that the parcel does not get lost in the mail. Don't worry about it, Serena. I mean, don't worry about things you can't control. It's not worth it. Dominic says, I like mohawks on the horses. I was just curious why you chose that style for your horses. And you completely understand, Dominic. And I'm glad you do. A lot of people don't. But Dominic is Team Mohawk. Hodog says, I prefer that pony over the Arabian, but heck, I prefer the donkey over it too. Yes, you do. And Serena says, I love braids on my horse if it's female. Yes, that's your brand, Serena. And David says, I don't think so. I have to itemize everything in it. It's probably in customs. And Serena says, I love all styles on horses. Doing a little comparison here, a little side-by-side action.
Just stay here.
Serena asks, David, do you get notifications that it is delivered? Probably. And David says, video games, snack cakes, and lollies. Food items. Yeah, it's fine. It's just stuck in customs for a little bit. They're shaking the package and saying, "G'day, mate. What is this malarkey here? Is this for the barbecue?" I Can't do an Australian accent to save me life. Odog said, David, send food. And David says, I should. I keep checking my emails. I made Odog laugh. And Serena says, awesome, David. Can't wait. Thank you. David says, I'll send you some chili Colorado, Moondog. Yes. Yes, please do. Willy Wonka. Greetings. I like your username. Says, do you think we'll ever get extra holster options or online horses in story mode? Or should I lose hope? Well, you shouldn't lose hope, but I don't think we'll ever get it. I think Rockstar believes that story mode is a portal to get you to play online. And they're going to keep all the online stuff online just to get you there and to kill you with microtransactions. But, you never know. It's available. I mean, it's the files are on your console. They're there. Every time you get an update, it's not for story mode. It's for online. So at some point, there'll be a mod that will unlock all of those things. Unfortunately, it will be on PC. Dominic asks, what holster are you using? I believe that is the Nueva Paraíso from the Ultimate Edition. And Serena says, hi, Willy Wonk's awesome name. Wonka. A Wonka bar. I could eat a Wonka bar right now. Or an everlasting gobstopper. I'm doing Willy Wonka references for you.
We're getting there, ain't we? Come on, lady.
Hort says, already is a mod that does that. See? I knew it. Okay. Okay, Willy Wonka, your question has been answered. If you play on PC, you can unlock all of those things. Hort, are you watching The Boys, Hort? Have you watched season 4? I had to watch a little bit of season 3 because I'd completely forgotten what had happened. And Dominic asks, do you prefer male or female horses? I prefer females, personally. I forgot how much I dislike Huey as a character. I just think he's weak. I mean, we're supposed to sympathize with him and follow him. I don't like Huey. He's Dennis Quaid's son. Might be Meg Ryan. Meg Ryan might be his mom. I don't know. I should look that up. But yeah, I just don't like him as a character. Frenchie's gay now, of course. It seems it's like the politics are really turning me off. I mean, it's very close to what we can see if we just, look on our phone or outside the window. And that kind of bugs me. I don't need that in my fantasy. I do like the over-the-top, the violence. And that's almost enough to keep me going. I might just, and just like kind of ignore the politics. Hortus says, maybe not the holster options, but all the online stuff and a lot more to boot has been made available offline. Dominic says he prefers males. Mama One is here. Everyone say hi to Mama One. Mama One says, hey, everyone. And Cloudy says, I got back to playing Red Dead 2 on PC. I gave Arthur a bowl cut. I'm very happy and embarrassed for you, Cloudy and Arthur. Serena says, hi, Mama. And David says, there she is. And Papa One says, hey, family. Greetings, Papa One. Mama One, how are you, friend? What's for dinner? Because I'm starving. Everyone is saying hi to Papa One and Mama One. And Papa One says, hey, Serena. Cloudy says, hi, Mama One. And Papa One. Papa One says, David, my friend, always good to see you. Yeah, I had a BLT for lunch and the other half of the Pop Tart, and that was good. But I still didn't have time to go to to do any shopping, so I'm just kind of improvising, And it's like it was either a BLT from like I had like half a loaf of frozen bread and a bunch of frozen bacon, and some leftover lettuce and tomato. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll make a BLT. But it was either that or oatmeal or a steamed rice. But I was too lazy to make the oatmeal or the rice. But I've really got to get the diet back under control and start eating like vegetables. Mama one says, "Hey Miko," and David says, "Good to see you, my friend. Good to be seen, my friend." Oh, that is for Papa, I suppose. And Papa one says, "Odog, it's good to see you. Hope you have been well." Yes, Odog, I hope you have been well. So yeah, I saw the boys. I don't love it, and it bugs me that I'm just like watching it because it's new, it's the latest thing, and everyone else is talking about it. But I have an interesting article from CNN on generative AI and how it's going to affect video games, and I will release that video next week. Dominic asks, "What are you going to name your horse?" Super Antonio. It's another branding thing. I call it Super Antonio. I call every horse Super Antonio just because it adds a little watermark on the video, thanks to Rockstar. But except for like Biscuit, I'll call Biscuit, Buell, Cerberus, and Rachel, I believe. Those are the only horses that I won't rename. Cloudy says, "I had a homemade chicken sandwich, and that sounds delicious." Mama one says, "Tonight I made a roast beef with potatoes, carrots, rice, with roast gravy, plus I made a mix of broccoli and cauliflower, steamed in the oven, also homemade rolls and a piece of German chocolate cake." Wow. That, you're, Mama one, it's like, you're like living in a hotel. I mean, except that you're like the cook and the staff and everything, but you make some of the best meals. Just even hearing about them warms my heart and makes me hungry. I got my green tea. Yeah, I crave vegetables if I'm not eating them.
Hi there. Come on in. So, what do you need?
13 viewers in the chat. Welcome. Happy Saturday. And Miko says, "Wow, that's a full course meal right there." Yeah, I don't get that elaborate at all. Papa one says, "Mama one feeds us well, and we always make sure our farm dogs get the leftovers so we never have any waste. That's why our farm dogs protect us so well. They don't want the chef to get hurt." Yeah, I completely agree about leftovers and for dogs. For centuries, for basically the first 50,000 years of our relationship with dogs, they ate scraps. I think it was just like in, like the mid-century where they started introducing dog food. And so much dog food is like, I mean, you might as well feed your dog hay. It's just horrible. It's just corn with a little meat flavoring. Dominic says, "What time does the stream end? I need to go for a couple of minutes." Dominic, we'll be here for about another 30 minutes or so. And Odog says, "Now I'm hungry again." Yes, I know, Odog. Same here, friend. Same here. But it's Mama One's fault. She makes the greatest meals all the time. I mean, what do you do for like an actual special meal like Thanksgiving or Christmas? Those are the only times where I'll like go all out, where I'll make a production, even though it's just me and the dog. Well, actually, no, strike that. It's it's like Christmas Day and Thanksgiving Day. It's usually just me and the dog. But most of the time, I I mean, there's like family stuff over the weekend for Christmas, so I don't want you to think that I'm completely alone. Momo says, hello, Super Antonio. Greetings, Momo. Appreciate you being here, friend. Happy Saturday. David says hi to Momo. Momo one says, our pets that stay inside get some of the leftovers with a little kibble. Farm dogs just have the run of the farm. You may see them one day, but not the next. Yeah, I give Sadie like like a tablespoon of kibble, which is a combo of two like there's an all beef kibble that I really like. Or that she seems to really like, by Blue Buffalo. And then Amazon has a really good brand called Wag, and that's like a lentil and like salmon or chicken or whatever, but it's no grains. But then I give her grains. I make fried rice with eggs and some kind of protein, beef or chicken or salmon, and then whatever veggies I have on hand. Carrots or broccoli, and I just toss that in there with a couple scrambled eggs. Odog says it's her fault this time to Mama One, and Momo says hello David and Mama One, and Odog says she should start overnighting us plates. And Odog says welcome to Momo. Let's talk to William. What was I going to say? Yeah, that's too bad about Serena. I hope she feels better. 15 viewers in the chat. Welcome, friends. Appreciate you being here. Odog says, Super Antonio, make a video on making fried rice. That's about the only thing I know how to make. And that's what I feed my dog.
You'll find the fruits hanging from bushes. It doesn't thrive near water, so I wouldn't waste your time looking there.
Mama One says, for Thanksgiving, we have my son come out and my brother and his wife, but I make a ham for breakfast. Papa One and son cook the turkey. I make cornbread dressing from scratch, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese probably. Dominic says, you should do a horse show on the piebald Tobiano Hungarian half-bred. Yeah, I know, Dominic. It's one of my favorite horses. I've just kind of been saving that one. And Biscuit. But you're right. Mom one says, mac and cheese, green beans, yams, sweet potatoes. Yeah, the full deal. Yeah, I don't want you to think that I don't get like a full Thanksgiving and holiday meal. I'd usually get one over the weekend over at an auntie or uncle's, it's like so. But I'm usually alone on Christmas or Thanksgiving, but I'm not alone. I have the dog. Our first year here, we didn't celebrate Christmas. I figured it would just be another day to her, and which I'm sure it was, but it was not another day to me. And I felt a little bad about it. So that the next Christmas, the last Christmas, we celebrated Christmas where I made a big deal about it, and I had like a bunch of presents for her to give her on Christmas Day. She was very excited, and I decorated, even though it was just for me, and that made me. Even though it was just for me, it just, it really lifted my spirits. And I'm looking forward to celebrating Christmas again. I've like figured out how to do it on my own without missing my family or my childhood, I suppose, or celebrating it, I guess. And Mama One says, and peanut butter cake. I've never had that. Sounds delicious. I want some now. I've never even heard of such a thing. And Serena says, hi to Momo. Momo says, I usually get mashed potatoes, ham, green beans, corn, yams, and some pumpkin pie. Yeah, that's more traditional. Pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie or last Thanksgiving I got some pumpkin cheesecake from a bakery that I go to. And so we had pumpkin cheesecake as the dessert. Tiny little slice, but it was really cute. And I let her try that. She'd never had cheesecake before. Someone really likes cheesecake. What's that about? Momo says, hey, Serena. And Mama one says, I love cooking. When I was young, we were very poor. So I always loved cooking and making things. That was always cooler than going to restaurants. And Cloudy says, have you done a video about the leopard blanket Appaloosa? I've done like regular videos. I have videos on every horse in the game, but I haven't done a horse show. And Momo says, never had it about peanut butter cake. I'm looking that up right now. Is that a southern thing? I know you're in Georgia. Peanut butter cake. A lot of peanut industry. Peanut butter cake. Moist, tender, great for crowds, topped with a fudgy peanut butter icing that your family will go crazy for. And yeah, that looks delicious. Serena says, same, Mama. I love cooking. Been cooking since I was 12. I love baking cakes, cookies, and it's been Italian family, always food. Yeah, food is family. Food is love. Food is a way to bond. You know the term breaking bread, where friends just get together and share a meal. Momo says, cheesecake is my favorite cake. That's not the only cheesecake I like. I'm sorry. That was for O-Dog. O-Dog, you're a bad influence. Mama once says, I bet you have great memories, Serena. And my recipe is from 1939. Yeah, it sounded like old-fashioned-y, depression-y. Not, it just sounded like it was from that time period. And Serena says, yes, awesome memories, Mama. And Mama one says, it was my mother's. Cloudy says, yes, I was talking about the horse show. Yeah, we could do that. Papa one says, can Arthur get the Tiger Mustang? Yes, Papa one, he can. If you're in version 1 of the game. And later in this video, we shall be showing Arthur on the Tiger Mustang racing the Count. What's that about? Momo says, I love family recipes passed down from generation to generation. It's so heartwarming. Yeah. I mean, it's just a way to connect.
Little fine grooming always sets off a horse.
And I love in the chat that we can talk about food and share recipes and just bond over something so essential without actually breaking bread together or sharing a meal. But it's kind of like we are, but we're not.
A few careful trims and this horse will look just fine.
17 viewers in the chat. Welcome, friends. Appreciate you being here. Happy Saturday. Dominic asks, if you stream tomorrow, what are you going to do? On Sundays, we sinister. Where on Sunday we talk about just like kind of paranormal or ghost stories or UFOs or just scary stuff that are interesting. That's interesting to me. So tomorrow we're going to talk about the movie The Exorcist, the production. There's curses that surrounded that movie, or it seems to be. It is known as one of the most cursed movies in Hollywood history, in cinematic history. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And, Bigfoot, cryptids, Loch Ness Monster, Madame LaLaurie's house in New Orleans, ghost stories. We're going to do witchy stuff for Mrs. David V. but I haven't really figured out what kind of witchy stuff we're going to do yet. But I'll think of something.
Boy is a hunter.
Papa One says, that horse is so beautiful. However, Mustangs should be faster than they are in game. Papa One, that horse thinks you're beautiful.
Sheriff.
How are you doing, sir?
Fine.
Tough business you boys had.
We did.
Well, there's no need to pretend with me, sir.
Look at
Life
Bill
can be tough.
chewing on
Can.
Man,
chewing on a piece of
Never dulled a good
wheat.
man's senses. Arthur, you ride with the deputy. Bill and I will follow. Archibald, how are you?
And
Good. And your friend is.
I basically, this is Arthur in version 1. I basically want to race the count against every horse in the game.
Learned his lesson.
And I've done this mission so many times. I know where every Lemoyne Raider is.
Most towns just get bounty hunters to do their dirty work these days.
But I'll show you again.
Believes the law should keep the law. Now,
Serena says, The Exorcist is supposed to be a true story too. Yes, Serena, I believe it is. Momo says, what are your guys' favorite horses in the game? I'm sure you already know mine, based on my profile picture. And Cloudy says, isn't the Crow film cursed as well? Well, yeah, that's more of a Bruce Lee family curse. However, I want to tell you something fascinating. Hort, if you're still listening, that I learned about the Crow. The stunt double that shot Brandon Lee with the blank gun, but there's wadding in there, and the wadding is actually what killed him. So it still shot out a projectile, but it was, it was a blank charge. That guy, who was Bruce Lee's stunt double,
had a fortune at one point until
is the director of
a few chain
a John Wick.
labor laws. Now they're dealing in moonshine.
John Wick
Skills hidden all over
director.
Lemoyne.
His name is
Destroy one another.
Chad Stahelski. I think that's fascinating, and he's had a career. He's a martial arts guy. He was very much involved in The Matrix. He might have been Keanu's stunt double. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, so he's had a long career. But that's how he got Keanu for John Wick, is like, because he was like, I wrote this script that you might like, and Keanu was like, okay.
It happened so long.
I've been practicing BJJ. Let's do it. And it's turned into a whole thing. So, but that's fascinating to me.
So I imagine.
But it seems to be more of a Bruce Lee curse.
Easy.
Dominic says, wait, when did you switch to Arthur? Yes, see, Dominic, that's what you miss when you leave the stream. What's that about? Serena says, love this mission when Dutch says to Bill you could try washing. Hortus says, Keanu stunt double. Yes, see, Hort knows the legend. And Dominic says, Momo, I think you know my favorite horse based on my profile picture. Mama One says the reverse dapple black thoroughbred and piebald Telbiano Hungarian. Also the brindle thoroughbred and the silver dapple pinto or the dark bay Turkoman. Those are all my favorite horses, basically, Mama One. Hortus says Stahelski did not write John Wick. No, but he was the director. And he was Brandon Lee's stump double. And he shot Brandon Lee. But I make up facts for the enjoyment of the stream, Hort, and I rely on you to have the actual notes of what actually happened, because I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just rambling.
This is the handiwork of a gang called the Lemoyne Raiders.
Yeah.
Serena says Keanu is a great actor. We love him. He's so nice. Yes, Serena, I agree.
Okay.
I agree. He's had a great career without compromising himself
I'll send someone over here later to clean this up.
or going crazy. So many of those actors. Eagles Pros here. Eagles Pros is high. It's like something interesting I noticed about Tom Cruise. Because he looks so good in in the latest Mission Impossibles, and he's over 60 now, and they're using some kind of digital makeup on him. It's like to just tighten things and clean up his skin. Because I saw like an Entertainment Tonight Instagram. And he looks his age. I mean, he looks in great shape, in Hollywood great shape, and a little Botoxed. But, you know, if like you see him, like, you know, in a paparazzi interview, he looks, you know, just like a really good 60. But, you know, in Mission Impossible, they're doing something to his face digitally, you know, that you know, makes him look 20 years younger. David says hi to Eagles Pro, and Serena says hi Eagles Pro, and Eagles says, oh, hi Serena. Momo says you should make a tutorial on how to make that outfit that your Arthur has, Super Antonio. I do. I have one on here somewhere. But I have over 1,600 videos on this channel. Momo says, yeah, I even love the online version of the Scrawny Nag because I just want to show her some love and feed her. We rescued horses for years. Most were race horses, like the Thoroughbred. And Cloudy says the Overo American Paint is the most beautiful horse. That is a very popular opinion. We're going to use Bolty. Momo says hey to Eagles, and Serena says, I miss Marco. I hope he's okay, and others. I miss. Serena, Marco's watching, so you could say hi to him now, and he watches on the replays, and you can leave him. He's very consistent about leaving comments on the replays, so you could leave him a comment, and I'm sure he watches your videos. Papa One says hey to Eagle Pro, and Eagle says, well, you know, I know a haunted school. Hortus says, a quick Googling says, while Stahelski was Brandon Lee's stunt double, he was not the one to shoot him. That actor was Michael Massey, who has since passed. Another version of the curse. Okay, good job, Hortus. I appreciate you doing the fact checking. I didn't know. It was just something I read on Instagram. That seemed to make sense to me. Okay, so I got some of it right.
Remember what he said. We need them alive.
And Serena says, hi, Marco. Yeah, I miss you. Yes, I'm sure he watches my videos. I just haven't talked to him in a while.
Forget the rider. Don't round him up later.
Yeah, Hort, are you watching The Boys?
I'll deal with this one. You get the other thing.
All right.
I'll give it another chance tonight, after the stream. Send Bill off to the left, and you won't get that guy asking about Anthony. It just saves you some time. If you want to, like, get through this part of the mission fast, just because you want to race the horse. Race the count. Racing the count with every horse in Red Dead Redemption 2.
I think that's it. Well, what do we do now?
You better destroy all this. Any of your boys can handle explosives?
Sure. Anyone but him.
Ice water.
That is the last time I'll mention it.
Hort says, I did watch the first 3 episodes they released. I watched the first one, Hort, but I also had to watch some of season 3 because I couldn't remember anything that happened. It was all gone. It's all cleared from the cache. Oh, Serena asks, where's Sadie Antonio? Oh, I'm sorry. I completely forgot. She had a bath tonight. She is very clean. She's a clean bird. Hop, hop. Hop, hop. We're on stream. We're live. And we're live. Okay, here she is. Say hi to Serena and Mama One and Papa One and David and Odin and Kodak and O-Dog and Cloudy and Momo.
Look out, we got more coming
Can you look at the camera? Look over. Look over here. Look over here. Up. Look over here. Nope. Okay. And Papa One says, my dad's last horse was a rescue thoroughbred named Texas Red after Marty Robinson's Big Iron song, but he was a racehorse who injured his leg. We used to breed horses for his owner. My dad fell in love. And Eagle says, well, bye guys. Okay, Eagles, you have a great weekend. Dominic says, those people are only sleeping. Yeah, they went to bed early. James, no one says, don't worry. Those Lemoyne Raiders are only sleeping. But look how fast I went through it. I've done this so many times. Serena says, bye Eagles, take care, good weekend. And Momo says, hi Sadie. O-Dog has a dog emoticon that's super cute. Papa One says, with that horse, he made a deal with the owner where we got to keep Texas Red, but he got $7,000 and he kept the 2 of the foals for free. I was mad about it. I said it was a horrible deal. Cloudy says, I've been watching Sweet Tooth on Netflix. It's a show based on the comic. I have not heard anything about that show. Cloudy, do you recommend it? Orak says goodbye to E-Pro, and Serena says hi to James. Miko says, you think they give Dutch a handicap during that mission? Some people claim to beat him using the Shire. He's got great acceleration on the count, but I think you can beat him on every horse. I mean, if you know what you're doing. James, no one says hello. And Papa One continues, when we got the horse, he could barely walk, but my dad said, I will get him fixed up. Took him 6 months to nurse him to health. But Texas Red became his personal horse. He rode him every day on the farm. 18 viewers in the chat. Welcome, friends. Appreciate you being here. Sadie, regrettably, has moved to her crate. What's that about?
Why don't I race you back? Okay, you're on. That's the spirit. Okay, on my word. Set, go.
Hort says, mayhap Dutch just ain't much of a rider. And Papa One says, my dad died when my son was 2.5, but he started learning to ride on ponies at 4. But Texas Red was the first horse he ever rode. Well, it's your dad's legacy, Papa One. Cloudy says, yeah, I recommend it. It's a show about hybrid humans. The new and last season is out. Cloudy, the last great show that I watched on Netflix was called Altered Carbon. Have you heard of that one? Highly recommend the first season at least. And Bowden Gamer Boy says, what's going good, man? Greetings, Bowden. Appreciate you being here. Altered Carbon was fascinating, but that was the last time I had Netflix. I've been boycotting them since Cuties. And if you don't know what Cuties is, don't worry about it. Papa One says, it was a moment where we felt like Texas Red was saying, since Dad can't teach the boy to ride, I'll do it for him. Texas Red died when my son was 11, and my son was crushed, but Texas Red lived. And Serena says hi to Bowden, and Cloudy says, oh, I will give it a watch. Yeah, if you love science fiction, it's fascinating. It is absolutely fascinating. I don't necessarily recommend season 2, but I didn't watch it all the way through. Texas Red lived to be 34. Yeah, I hardly ever, I can't even remember the last time I let Dutch win. But I wonder if we could go to Blackwater during this race. We should try that. Just abandon the race and go to Blackwater. I bet it would just like, we would just like fail the mission. and it
You
would
get to be my
restart.
age, well, you'll know that better than anything.
Papa One says he got a longer life thanks to my dad, but horses can live up to 40 and over.
I was gonna say you're
Hort
like
says first season of Altered Carbon was okay, but lost interest when they recast the lead. Same here, Hort. Even if they could narratively justify it. Yeah, I agree, Hort. I like that guy, Joel Kinnerman. Dominic says, I just wish there was a way to get the count. Not a way that I know of. And Bowden Gamer Boy says, Mustangs are one of my favorite horses in Red Dead Redemption 2. Same here. I love that dorsal stripe. I love their furry legs. I believe that's called feathering. And Chris Magne, I'm mispronouncing your name, and I apologize, Chris. Says hello. Greetings, Chris. Appreciate you being here. Happy Saturday. $20 viewers in the chat. Welcome, friends. Mama One says, I wish the Count was available in Blackwater. I wonder why he isn't an albino Arabian. They want, they could have done an albino Arabian instead of the rose gray. But for whatever reason, Serena says hi to Chris. And that, my friends, is about all I have for you tonight. Appreciate all of you being here. Shout out to the mods. We had a full house. Serena, Mama One, Papa One, Odog, and David. Serena, I hope you feel better. It's like, and that viral short you did should make you feel better. Papa One says albino horses don't really exist. Papa One, the albino horses think you don't really exist. I don't know what that means, Papa One. Forgive me. I'm just teasing you. I only tease out of affection. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for being here. And we shall return tomorrow night on Sinister Sundays. On Sundays, we Sinister. Let's see. Everyone, enjoy.